We've been doing this for 8 years. Sometimes after 3-4 years, a customer will come back and pay back the entire loan with all of his penalties. Everybody should have a good credit history, because at some point in time you need a credit card, you need a housing loan, you need a car loan.
I missed out on one question. Let's say I were to default on the loan that I took from you. How will you as a company approach me for the discovery of that loan?
I think
Recovery of the loan, sorry. Yeah.
I think what typically happens, right, to be very honest, is the age group that we typically lend into is probably between 25 to 40. That's
Okay.
like majority of our customers, right? And one of the things that we've noticed is, of course, we'll do the typical stuff, right? We have a lot of alternate data on people. So we kind of know, usually where your deliveries happen, right? What is the location of that, right? We will also know, as an example, basis of your geolocation, what are the places that you're usually hanging out in, right? So we'll do, very soft things initially. We'll try to call you up, we'll send you SMSs, we'll remind you, we'll try to give you knowledge around why you should not why you should default, why you should not default, right? Which is because it could hurt your bureau,
CIBIL score and everything.
all of those things, right? And we'll try to remind you that everybody should have a good credit history, because at some point in time you need a credit card, you need a housing loan, you need a car loan.
So along with creating an ecosystem, you're also making them aware that
Absolutely.
financial literacy, you're actually spreading the financial literacy by being deep into the system.
Have to, right? To be very honest, a big part of collections is creating awareness. See, if you call up somebody and you tell them that if you don't pay your loan, I'll do a legal case on you, all of these things, I think that's the last resort, to be very honest. Because what we've actually realized, to be very honest, is that at least in our user base, there are very few people who don't want to pay. People who are not paying is because they are in a bad, financial circumstance. Like, I'll give you an example. We've been doing this for 8 years. Sometimes after 3-4 years, a customer will come back and pay back the entire loan with all of his penalties.
Okay.
Because two reasons, right? Either the reason number one is, all their problems, which were there, they were going through, go away, and they are very young. They are not customers who are like in their 50s or 60s, who, if they are in a bad financial situation, sometimes it's very difficult to recover. They are people in their 20s and early 30s, right? So they have ample of time in their life to recover. And when they do recover, a lot of these people a lot of people will want home loans, a lot of people will want two-wheeler loans, a lot of people will want a car loan, right? And when you go in for that loan, and if you have, the bank, first thing they'll say is, listen, you have a loan open for 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 rupees, I cannot give you a loan because it spoiled your bureau history. The first thing they do is call up the lender. Okay, listen, what's happened? Like, I'm not paid. Then we tell them, listen, like, this loan is outstanding. And they say, what is the amount? Please tell us, we'll clear it immediately. Right? So now there's a combination of two things, right? One is, at the time of taking the next loan, they realize they're not getting that. So they'll clear everything in the past.
And they're young.
They're young. So they have time on their hand to recover, right? And the second most important thing, which we are realizing now, there's a lot more financial literacy, by the way, in India post-COVID than pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Because in COVID, right, because of exposure to the financial markets in some way or the other, a lot of people participated in equity, right? So many retail investors went about and made their first, investments.
These days, DIIs are stronger than FIIs, by the way.
Exactly, right? So all of this has led to a really strong financial literacy in the ecosystem. So now people do care. People don't want their bureaus to get spoiled, right? Unless they have no other option. So, to be very honest, the only person who will probably not pay at all now will be like that 0.02% kind of people who are actual fraudsters, right? Who जो किसी और के नाम पे loan ले लेते, right? That situation can happen, right? And that's where we have to use AI and technology at our end, and we've released all of those things, right? We have a face match algorithm, we have liveliness detection, we have all of those algorithms to determine a fraud. So more and more, if I think about the future of lending, I think the biggest goal for a lender will be to cancel out fraud.